Linwood here from NobleManagement.pro, and in this video today, we're going to talk about what organized compliance is, and I'm going to give you a 40,000-foot view on what compliance is about and what it takes to be compliant. But look forward to hearing from your comments and hearing back from you. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. I want to take a minute and send a big thank you to Funds V for sponsoring this video today. One of the biggest challenges in international education is making sure institutions have accurate, reliable information when making important decisions about the student and the impact of students. Funds V is helping bring more trust and transparency to the admissions process by improving how financial information is verified, helping institutions make better decisions, and supporting better outcomes for students. In education, trust matters. Better data leads to better decisions. Learn more about Funds V at fundsv.com. Go check them out. Back to the video. There are a lot of schools out there and organizations out there that talk about compliance, but very few organizations really build a system that makes compliance sustainable. That's why I started Organized Compliance, because compliance should not begin when an audit is scheduled. If your team is scrambling to find policies and evidence and reports and documentation weeks before the review, you don't have a compliance system. You have a compliance emergency or a compliance nightmare. So what is organized compliance? Really, it's just a structured approach that connects your policies, your procedures, your evidence, your accountability, and continuous improvement into one operational framework. For instance, I was for 5 years, I was the director of compliance at Commercial Dive Academy. And that was a pretty big compliance job to have as your first compliance job. I really had no idea about the commercial diving industry, what it was about, or anything. And here I am, weeks into this Commercial Diving Academy director of compliance job, and I had no idea. I had no training. I had no idea what to do. So I developed my own plan. And what I did was I took the catalog, the Commercial Diving Academy catalog. I took the website, and I made those two match because I really wanted the front end of whatever the actual student was seeing. I wanted them to see what we're actually teaching. Now, the commercial diving industry is an incredibly it has a lot of policies and procedures in place because it can be very dangerous. One of the accrediting bodies that we were accredited by at that time was the Diving Certification Board of Canada, the DCBC it's called. And they went by a Canadian Standard Association standard called the Z275 for restricted and unrestricted commercial diving. Again, I had no idea this was all in place. But on top of that, we had an accrediting body, which was through ACCET, ACCET, the Accrediting Council for Continuing Education and Training. We had state licensing agencies, like down in Florida. There's a state licensing agency, CIE, which is Commission for Independent Education. And then, you have your class schedules, your competencies, your daily lesson plans, which went down all the way down to 30-minute blocks. And this was an 871 total clock hour program. So all that 871 had to be broken down into 30-minute blocks for the lesson plans and everything. Then you have to factor in diver assessments, diver midterms, exams, finals, all that kind of things, all the objectives that go along with that. You have instructor credentials that you have to worry about, emergency procedures before, during, and after a dive. So all of that had to match. So, and if a accrediting body came in and said, this is an unannounced visit, we want to see what your students are doing. So they could pick out any kind of student. We usually had 4 classes running at a time. You had a freshman, junior, senior, and sophomore class. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, sorry. But yeah, so you had those classes going, and they would say, okay, what is the junior class doing week 3 of the junior module? What are they completing right now? And I had to go down, look in the lesson plans and say, okay, they're doing, diver physics right now. They should be talking about Boyle's Law. So I would take the whole crew, the whole accrediting crew, and we'd walk down there, and they would have to have on the board everything that outlined Boyle's Law, what it was being taught, how it was being taught per the lesson plan. So that all has to match. All 11 of those things that I just gave you, all that stuff has to match. And I didn't realize the job, what type of job that was, but it was incredibly intensive. It can be confusing, but when I developed my organized compliance system, it really puts it all into place. And when I talk to certain, companies, or I talk to certain schools about compliance, I usually start off with the catalog, because that's kind of like the Bible of the school. Because really, overall, compliance really isn't the goal. The goal is not more paperwork. The goal is better decisions, reduced risk, stronger teams, clear ownership, clear accountability, mission alignment. You want to make sure that if you have a policy in place, you want to make sure to find out who's responsible for that policy, implementing it, enforcing it, and all that, and who's responsible for it. So strong institutions, they really don't prepare for compliance. They operate in a state of readiness. And that's why, if you're ever in a one-on-one meeting with me as a consultant, I always say, look, I'm not trying to get you guys ready. I'm trying to get you to the point where you're always ready, so you don't have to get ready, because it's usually harder to scramble the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks during a visit. So really, on my side, on the organized compliance side, the future of compliance is proactive. And I want organizations that build organized systems today that will be better prepared for, accreditation reviews, regulatory changes, growth opportunities, institutional changes. So is your institution audit ready or audit reactive? Process driven or person dependent? Organized or overwhelmed? The difference is a system. Organized compliance that I developed is building confidence through clarity, structure, and readiness. And really, it's just about living compliance every day, no matter who's in the seat. So if you have 10 instructors and they all leave, you want 10 more instructors to come in and just kind of fill in what they're doing and pick up where they came from, pick up where they were, from a compliance standpoint, because it's detrimental to the mission, to the student success, and everything that goes on within the program. So that's kind of a 40,000-foot view of what compliance is about and how it works. But my system really hones in on accountability, organized structure, where all the policies and procedures are, because if an accrediting body walks in and starts asking questions, I want any one of my people, from the receptionist all the way up to the CEO, to be able to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find it for you. Give me 5 minutes, and know where to go to find it and pull up the policy if needed. I hope that gives you a little insight on what compliance is all about and what organized compliance system does. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Reply to this post or reply to this video. That's all I got for you today. Go to NobleManagement.pro. Take a look around, see what you like. If there's something that you need from me, let me know. Take a look at my website, because on my website I do have a book. It's called The Human Side of Accreditation that I wrote. It really talks about the systems and the people behind the actual audits and how to reduce stress and all that. But I've been doing this for a very long time, a little over 22 years, and I love what I do. So with that being said, hope you have a great day, and see you on the other side. Stay compliant.